It really was, in a sense, kind of mission driven. I know these are good people and I want to just try to help and support them as much as I possibly can, is really the biggest driving force. I do want to see seniors be able to find good options. I want them to know that if a family goes online and they get caught in the loop with a place for mom's not going to give them all the options. Being able to carve out some space to capture leads for these residential assisted living in the midst of such massive competition. So it's definitely a big challenge and definitely something that for 15 years been working on it.
Welcome to the Row Room Assisted Living Podcast with your hosts, Charlie Cameron and Alex Schlow. This is your go-to show for cutting-edge insights from industry leaders in residential assisted living.
Whether you're ready to launch your own assisted living business or looking to invest in this fast-growing, high-impact sector, we are here to equip you with the tools, strategies, and confidence you need to succeed. Get ready to ride the silver tsunami and change the future of senior care. Now on to today's show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Row Room Assisted Living Podcast. Today, we are joined by Peter Brissett. He is the founder of Digital Marketing Dude. Great name. Peter has spent more than 20 years helping small businesses grow online, and he's been working with the assisted living industry since 2010 through his partnership with the Colorado Assisted Living Association. Peter's helped operators understand one thing that many of us struggle with, and that's how to build trust online before families even pick up the phone. Peter, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and how you unexpectedly found yourself working with the assisted living industry?
Great to be here. Great to be on the podcast. And I would love to tell this story. It's really was an interesting time. I was transitioning and I'm like, I need to start doing something for myself, but I wasn't sure honestly exactly what I was going to do. But the last job that I had, they told me I should look at the assisted living industry. I was in sales and technology and they're like, go look at the assisted living industry. I'm like, awesome. I'm going to do that. What's assisted living? Like I'd been in nursing homes and seen nursing homes. I just thought it was all the same thing. I didn't realize there were these different levels of care and all the different options that you had in assisted living. So I just started looking like, all right, someone's got to be talking about this, doing things with it. That's when I came across the Colorado Assisted Living Association and met some folks there, started going to some of their events. And my initial impression was just like, these are awesome people. They're caring for our seniors. They're caring for the most vulnerable people in our society, in our communities. So how can I help them? What can I do just to help out? So I started volunteering and I helped the association with their website. I'd help them with events and just built some great relationships. And so then I'm like, I definitely want to get this marketing business off the ground. And my first client, I went to Tom Kinraid. Some people that have been around a long time might know him. He's been out of the business a while, but I said, Tom, your website, it's not great. You should pay me to fix that for you. And he's like, all right, fine. Writes me a check. And that was it. So that really was our foundation to get into the assisted living. All he had was residential homes. That kind of snowballed into a bunch of others and pretty much got our business off the ground and launched in that space. So since then, we've worked with dozens of companies, almost exclusively residential assisted living versus the larger big box companies. So that's been our bread and butter, our biggest niche. We've done websites for a lot of different folks, but that's really been our main niche and really the only one that we do other marketing services for. So if you want to boost SEO or run ads or do things like that, we'll do that. But my involvement with association, I still support them from a technical standpoint. So 16 years, but I helped organize and put together, I can't remember the number exactly, close to 30 conferences that we did, plus dozens and dozens of other smaller events that we did with the association and all that. So it's much needed from their perspective to advocate for the industry. It's so regulated and so many rules and everything that a residential home has to follow to care for seniors. I'm happy to try to help and support in that way. But for the most part, I want to do the marketing stuff. That's my part. My parents have passed away. I'm not going to be a caregiver in an assisted living community, but if I can help connect seniors and their families to great care, and as almost everybody in the residential assisted living, they really care about people and providing great care and take care of families. So I play a small part in trying to help that.
Really important part. And Peter, thank you for all the work that you've done over the last 16 years and to come in the industry, because it's definitely much needed. And so I really appreciate all the work that you've done. Just stay back and think about all the conferences and events that you supported and websites, and that ripple effect of how many seniors that's impacted to have better care is unbelievable. So thank you so much for doing that. Was there anything in particular that made you decide, I want to continue to focus on this industry over the last decade? Anything that really drew you to assisted living over that time frame?
It really was, in a sense, kind of mission driven, in that sense that I know these are good people and I want to just try to help and support them as much as I possibly can, is really the biggest driving force. I do want to see seniors be able to find good options. I want them to know that if a family goes online and they get caught in the loop with a place for mom's not going to give them all the options. Like there are a lot more options than what a place for mom's going to tell you about. Being able to carve out some space to capture leads for these residential assisted living in the midst of such massive competition. So it's definitely a big challenge, and definitely something that for 15 years been working on. How can we pill a little bit of that traffic, a little bit of that there? We don't have the budgets. My clients don't have the budgets that, a Place for Mom or Caring.com are running, or a Brookdale or a Sunrise or any of those. So how do we still do marketing on a reasonable budget and still be able to capture good leads and help people out?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a much needed thing. In the Row Room, in our mastermind, like marketing comes up consistently it's difficult because, as you mentioned, residential assisted living is a lot different than a big box facility. The budgets are different. How you're running ads are different. Everything is just a lot different. I do want to hit on ads, but I figured a good place to start would be websites, because it blows my mind the number of residential assisted living homes that don't even have a website or a functional website. It's pretty wild. And so that's some pretty low hanging fruit. And I figure you've probably looked at hundreds of assisted living websites over the years. Are there any big mistakes that you tend to see over and over again?
Yeah, so there's a common thread. So there's a few things an assisted living website needs to have on it that folks seem to miss. One thing that I'll mention just in general, and this one isn't necessarily like a big yes or no, but I wish my clients would do it, and I try to talk them into it, but I wish they would put pricing on their websites. I wish they all would put pricing on their websites. The industry wide, just put on there, because then when you get a lead from your website, it's going to be way more qualified. If they have no idea or they're not sure, and they're like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be that much, but they spent time and you spent time and the anywhere. So I wish everybody would put pricing on the websites. That would make things easier. But the one thing that I think is super important, the buying process for the family member, usually the daughter of the mom that's doing the shopping, it's very much like a real estate transaction. Like if someone's looking for an apartment. And so you want to have all those different things that you would look for if you're looking for an apartment, for example. What are all the amenities? Let me see some really good pictures of where's my mom going to stay? What's that room look like? What's that area going to be like? So really high quality photos, a virtual tour. If you can do a basic layout of the room, those kinds of things that people are used to seeing when they're trying to rent a space, rent an apartment, basically. It's the same kind of mindset. So really having all those little features like that, and those are super easy to do on a website. The hard part's getting the pictures taken and that kind of stuff and making sure that's done on the front end. So that's It's always a challenge with clients. It's like, all right, here's somebody you can hire, go in and do the photography and get it ready to go and all that. And then we'll take it and make it look great on the website. The other thing is frequently asked questions. This common thing that most websites miss, regardless of industry. What are questions people are going to ask you? Answer those questions on the website. So again, it's a little bit of pre-sale. Once someone goes through your website, they should be much more qualified. By the time they're picking up the phone, they're like, I want to come tour. I've got most of my big questions answered. I know what it looks like. Let's walk through and what are the next steps I need to take to actually start the process of moving my loved one in. Those are the most common things that I see with the website that just get missed all the time. Sometimes they'll put a picture or two. They'll have some information. I would say having staff photos is good. I know that can be a challenge with turnover and things like that, but at least your leadership team, if it's just you and your wife, or if you're one facility or you have 5 or 6 locations or something like that, at least tell your story and why you're there and talk about you and why you're doing this and even offering it that. And then surprisingly still, people forget that most of this is happening on a mobile device and significant amounts of it. It's slightly more mobile. There's still desktop because a lot of people are sitting in their office and searching in their office and looking online. But it's more than 50% that are looking on a mobile device, and not having everything work really well on mobile is still a challenge out there. So that's my handful.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. And then most importantly, have a website too, folks, because
Yes.
some people don't even do that, which is wild. But yeah, I love that. I think one thing you mentioned too with the pricing, like even if you don't have the actual pricing, at least having some sort of range can be helpful too. Yeah, like something that's going to be a good object handler and filter for folks who are leads are higher quality. And it's like you mentioned, it's not wasting your time. It's not wasting their time. We're getting more appropriate leads. Yeah, that's great advice. And FAQs and optimization and photos. My wife is a professional photographer, and it really makes the difference when you have a real photographer come in and take pictures of your property and take pictures of your staff. You can do relatively okay with an iPhone, but it is worth the few $100s to have someone really come in and get those pictures for you and work on the lighting and all those sorts of things. Because look at the website almost as like that initial first impression, right? It's like you come on the tour and the landscaping and you see the outside of the home and you really want to wow them from the beginning. Website's the same way. It's just digital. And if your website's terrible and the pictures are horrible, you're not going to want to put your mom or your dad in that home.
Yeah, it definitely does. It really is that people want that kind of check just to verify. Maybe I read a good review about you, or someone even told me about you and said you were good, but they're still going to look at the website. They're still going to go, okay, let me try to confirm this. And they want to use the website to get that confirmation. So why not make it as good as you possibly can? Yeah. It doesn't cost that much. And I think that's part of the challenge. People are like, oh, going to cost me tens of thousands of dollars to do this, and it just doesn't cost that much to do it. And at least we don't charge that much.
Yeah, just one extra residence for 1 month way more than pays off what your website cost would be. Yeah, and the ability to generate more leads and keep your occupancy up, like it's definitely worth it. It's a no-brainer for sure in terms of the return on investment on a good website. Speaking of a good website, I feel like a lot of operators think I just need a website, but what's the difference between having a website and then one that's actually generating high quality leads and move-ins?
So there are some differences. It's such a hard thing. Someone asked me, what's a common misconception that people have about websites and the industry in general? And it can be very hard to explain, because when you see advertising for, get a website and get hosting, as far as anybody knows, it's like, okay, it's all the same. It doesn't matter. But what you build your website on and where those files sit on a computer matter. Not every computer is the same. You can go share this website host it with a whole bunch of other websites that you don't even know anything about, or you could get fast Amazon web servers to have your website sit on. There's a difference with how that works. And it's not necessarily, it can be a cost difference because a lot of people are, oh, $5 a month for hosting. It's like, but it's a lot of things. You kind of get what you pay for. And so get something cheap. You might have something live, but is it really going to be working for you and doing what you need? No, it's not. So how you build the website, the platform you build the website on, the hosting where you host the website, all that stuff makes a difference and matters. And the ongoing thing, and especially now, we haven't mentioned AI yet, which is surprising. We've got this far in and we haven't said AI. We're what?
It's coming.
Yeah. Because AI craves more content and more information. And so if you want to really help the website be more integral in your general online authority and being book a call with you or book a tour, that's an important piece. But there's a whole ecosystem too around local search marketing as a brick and mortar business. And that's really the most advantageous part of a residential assisted living, is that you do have that physical location, because you're not trying to rank nationally. You're trying to rank in a very small area and do well in a very small area, looking at all the different things that Google in particular offers to help you be able to show up in a search result, because your website's not necessarily the first thing that someone sees. So they're going to hit your Google business profile. They're going to see your reviews. If they've never heard of you or they're just randomly searching, they'll see that first before they get to your website. Or you're going to come up in a AI overview as something in the area that's highly recommended. So there's the website piece and there's off website piece that's really critically important. Number one, and it's so hard in this industry to do very well, especially small residential assisted living, is getting more reviews on your Google business profile. So if you're an 8-bed, even 16-bed, it's not like you have a lot of turnover every month. You're not a restaurant. You're not running a couple hundred people through there every month to get a lot of reviews. So it's a challenge to get the volume of reviews that you want. But the good news is everybody's in the same boat within the industry. But you have to work at it. You have to be super intentional. And that's one of the things we really try to work with our clients on, and giving them tools and reminders of what to do and training their staff. If the staff member hears a family member say, oh, I just love how you've taken care of my mom, or something like, that's a trigger to go, oh, here's this flyer. Let me hand you this. Here's a QR code to go to Google to write as a review. So it's something you got to do throughout your team to just go, hey, we incentivize them to get you reviews. You get a new review for us, I'll get you a $25 Starbucks gift card or whatever it is they like, right? Give them some extra incentive, because those reviews, I haven't looked at the numbers lately, but caring.com is probably the number one review site outside of Google. And it's good to get them on caring.com too. But I want to say caring.com, it might be different now. It's a couple years ago, said that a single 5-star review was probably worth $80,000 a year in revenue.
Wow. I believe it.
How much it's worth.
I muted my mic. Yes, incredibly important. I saw you looking at me like, what's it saying? Apologize for that. Yeah, no, it's incredibly important to have great reviews. And thank you for hitting on that. I definitely wanted to make sure that we did. So thank you for bringing that up, because that is so important to gather those reviews however you can. And you're in Denver, I'm in Colorado Springs. We were just camping in Crested Butte, Colorado. We were at the Secret Stash pizza place there. It's amazing for folks who haven't been there. But I was looking through, they have kind of like a Rolodex on the table of, hey, this is the staff and this is our story and this is our mission and all those sorts of things, which is amazing. Then they have a page with their QR code and reviews. And it says, if you had a 5-star experience, please leave us a 5-star review. If you did not have a 5-star experience, please email this email. And we discuss this every Monday at our staff meeting, every email that we get that's not a 5-star rating and review. It's a great way to hedge it, to push everyone to, hey, just leave a 5-star review. And so we can take tips like that in order to garner more reviews for residential assisted living homes. Are there any other tips or tricks that you've learned that's helped boost the number of reviews that homes have gotten?
Sorry to interrupt this episode, but let's be honest. Most real estate investing right now, it's either buy a fourplex or try Airbnb and hope for the best.
Yeah, we're not here for that.
We're here to show you what we believe is the most overlooked high cash flow real estate strategy in the game right now. You guessed it, residential assisted living. It's literally the one place in real estate where you can net 6 figures on a single home and feel like a decent human being at the same time. You're helping sweet old ladies eat pancakes and play bingo and live longer through better care. You tell me what's better than that.
So we're hosting a free live webinar called How You Can Create Financial Freedom with Residential Assisted Living. No fluff, just value. And it's happening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 Mountain Time. No excuses. It's online. Put on sweatpants. We won't judge.
We'll break down why residential assisted living is the best opportunity right now, the 5 steps to take down your first home, and how to set up a business that makes a real impact and real money.
Spots are limited, so don't be that person who DMs us in 3 months saying, wait, is it too late to start?
So hit up therowroom.com/webinar and register now.
Be the hero your grandma already thinks that you are.
We'll see you there. Pancakes not included.
It really is about asking, and what you have to ask multiple times. So if you know for sure this person gave some indication that, yeah, I would like to leave a review, don't be afraid to ask until you get it. People are just busy. It's not that they don't want to do it. And the more you ask them, the more obligated they're like, I got to do this. I said I would, I got to do it. And typically what I see, it takes three to 4 specific asks to get the review sometimes. A lot of times it's one, boom, they go do it, you're good. But for those that delay, 3 to 4 asks within a couple of weeks is ideal, and you will get more reviews just by doing that.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And then if you send out like a monthly email newsletter, putting it in there, and just having those multiple different touch points and making it easy for people can be really important. That's great advice. Peter, we've hit the website, we've hit Google My Business a little bit, we've hit Google reviews, incredibly important. Let's talk a little bit more about marketing. We hit on this a little bit in terms of, hey, new operators or really residential assisted living operators in general, we don't have the marketing budget that Brookdale has, for example. How would you say, how should someone think about if they have a few $1,000s for marketing? Where should they spend it? Where should they not spend it? How to best kind of allocate some of their marketing budget to optimize chances of more referrals?
Yeah, so definitely on the side of Google Ads, here's the thing about how search is still functioning, at least right now. And it's an interesting transition with AI overviews and all that. But Google's number one revenue source is its ads platform. And it's not going to just toss that thing away and say, we don't need money from that anymore. They still do. Some of it's going to transition a little bit, but as of right now, there's not much difference, even with all the AI overviews in terms of ads and running ads. And the difference with the Google ad versus a social media ad, when I'm on social media, I'm just there tooling around, doing whatever. I'm not trying to solve a problem. Ads that come up are things that are just distractions, little things. You're not really trying to solve a big problem. But if I'm still going to Google and doing a search, I'm trying to solve a problem now. If I'm like, I got to see what facilities might have some openings, I need to tour some places. That's because there's probably an immediate need or very close immediate need. And so Google is still the number one way to try to capture that through Google Ads. The challenge is the budget. Again, big nationwide companies are spending huge dollars on that. But where you can still get leads from that because it's an auction. It's not a one for one. Just because I bought an ad doesn't mean I exclusively get that space. There's a lot of factors that determine when and how an ad is going to show. So if your budget, I would say $1,000 a month minimum in most areas, just on the ad spend, you want to be at least doing that to know that you can do that. And again, you can get 1 or 2 residents a year if you're private pay, and you more than cover that. In more dense areas, more competitive areas, and you probably need to go, my ad spend needs to be $2,000 a month to be able to siphon off enough from the competition in order for it to make sense. So it's still effective. It still works. You can still generate leads. You can still generate phone calls. It's always the challenge for your private pay community. There's a lot more people looking for Medicaid facilities. At least if someone puts, this is what's great about ads, is that you can put negative keywords. So if someone says Medicaid, you just say, don't show my ad. So you can at least try to narrow down and cut back on some of the leads that aren't necessarily going to work for your particular community. But you got to write good ads. You got to write good ad copy. There should be something unique about your community that's different than others. Essentially, it's the same, but do you have a garden there or a pond, or what is the thing about your place that makes it unique and special for folks? And you got to tap into emotion a little bit too, because this is about my loved one and their care, and they're probably going to be somewhere for at least a couple years at this point in their life, and it's a big transition. So being able to tap into that emotion of your moment, help them know that, hey, we understand what you're going through. This is what we do. We're going to make this smooth transition for you. We're going to help you on the process and take care of your loved one. So I think Google Ads is still a very good viable option if you're willing to put that kind of budget to it, in terms of $1,000 to $2,000 a month in ad spend, and can still be super effective.
That's great. You had mentioned earlier too, SEO, AI optimization, those sorts of things. Do you mind hitting on briefly the importance of that? And then we'll pivot to talk a little bit about AI.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing now. So every website out of the box, and then all our websites, even going back, we build enough websites that we kind of build at scale. And so we use a specific platform that we build them on, so that when we change something, we change it for all our clients. So when we need to add something that will help the AI consume the site better, we want to do that platform wide. So that's the kind of stuff that we do to make sure that sites have all the things they need. Most of the basic SEO stuff is still the same, but there's a few tweaks, things like AI summaries. So going back and updating content on the website, adding AI summaries on some of your key pages. If you're doing blog content, having AI summary on the blog content, having a page on the website that you literally call AI summary, so that if AI scans your website, it's going to go, oh, here's the AI summary right here. I'll just pull that, and you put all your most important information on one page that gives everybody a summary of everything. We've seen that's very helpful. I try not to do too much tech talk, but every website usually has some kind of sitemap, and the AIs can access that, but there's a new version of the sitemap called an LLMS. Most AIs are using just as another way to quickly scan the content of the website. There's another thing called schema markup, which again, this is some stuff that we've used for a long time, but the AIs, it's just more metadata. Your titles, descriptions of the pages that Google tools, AI tools read all this information in the background. So just having all those little elements and those little pieces there in place to make it easy for the AI to consume the content on the website so that you have a better chance of showing up in an AI search, specific AI search. So it doesn't guarantee it. I wish I had a way to guarantee it. I've never had a way to guarantee ranking anyway.
Yeah.
Clients come to all the time, it's like, all right, you're going to build me a website. I'm going to rank number one. You realize if we just picked assisted living, and there's, I don't know, close to 700 communities in the state, there's 700 websites at least that have been built before yours, that have had time to mature and grow and get links and have content, and for Google to go, oh, this is a good site. And so I'm just going to throw yours in there, and it's going to be all those, in like the next month. So you got to try to set the right expectation.
If you figure that out, though, let us know, Peter.
You couldn't afford me if I figured that out.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, well, it does seem like AI is changing everything. And how do you think it's going to change marketing for assisted living over the next few years?
I think it's going to be so much more important to really have your website beefed up. You got to invest more in your website, period. That your website has really become the source of truth. So that piece, and then your Google reviews. Now, if you can go the next step of actually creating content and video content, that's going to give you a big boost if you can do that. So we're not a social media marketing company and we don't do video content, but video is such a powerful tool, and it's so heavily used by the AI. It really is. So I think that it might be something that we have to start to add because it's just so critically important. So I got to think about that, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to create that content, but yeah, beefing up the content that you currently have on your website and adding new content. Now you can use AI to help you write content. You have to teach it how to do it correctly. It has to be engaging. It has to be right. It has to not sound like AI content, but you can still use AI tools. And what I've seen over the last 2 years, how much they've improved and keep improving, it's mind-blowing how good the tools are. We typically will create content for clients, have the clients review it, put their feedback and their expertise into it to help with that. But at least having one blog post a month as a minimum, that's a no-brainer with the tools that we have right now to be able to do that. Because you need content to share, post on social. So do all the stuff of your community. Hey, here's the birthday parties. Hey, here's the activities we've done. That's great. Oh, hey, here's a link to our latest blog post. And you send people to the website and give people something to share out on the socials. Part of what you have to try to do is not just rely on organic traffic. You have to try to do things that will drive traffic to the website. And so new content on the website is a perfect way to do that and be able to have that opportunity. So, but what's great now too, the more we're using these tools, we have better tools now to evaluate how AI is engaging with your site. So we can actually start to measure that now, where a year ago we couldn't do that. It was sketchy, the information we were getting. We've got better tools now for that. More and more we can use the tools themselves to evaluate the website, update the website to have better information, and connecting all the different tools together so we have a much better picture of exactly what's happening. So the tools right now are really starting to crank up and get better around AI. And it's just making it definitely faster to evaluate, see what's happening, and make quick adjustments and changes as you go to really maximize everything. But your website's the source of truth. That's the source of content, especially around AI. So invest in that. It's going to become a better, stronger investment over time as you do that. And that's really, I think it's super, super critical. Reviews, and then if you can do some video, do some YouTubes and some YouTube shorts. If you just did that much, it would help a lot.
Yeah, it'd be huge. And you can repurpose so much of that content, right? You
Yeah.
can have your blog post, put that on your website, use the blog post to send an email out, use the blog post to create your reels and create your long form content. If there's a lot of different ways to reuse things to make that work a little bit easier. Well, Peter, in the interest of time, I wanted to ask you if you could give every assisted living operator that's here right now one piece of marketing advice, what would it be?
Great question. I would say you want to make it very personal and authentic. There should be a story. And I know there's a lot of investors that look at it, the industry, as, hey, this is a great way to maximize an asset and make an income. And it is. But we're caring for people. There's more to it than that. I know there's more to it than that. So share that story, have a story, talk about your own family, talk about your own situation. And maybe it's not your mom or your relative. Maybe it's a sister. Maybe it's an aunt. Make it personal. Share a story. Help people connect with you on that personal level. With all the AI, with all the things happening, all the marketing messages, people want to connect human to human at the end of the day. And so figure out how to build that into your marketing and your messaging. And you'll have much better results. People will resonate with that, and they will at least want to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, that's going to build a lot more trust for sure and be much more beneficial. Peter, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. How can folks learn more about you, Digital Marketing Dude, the website, et cetera? How can they reach out to you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, we have website, assistedlivingmarketing.com is the main website for our senior care work. We have all our pricing for our websites on the website.
That's great.
So
thank you for doing that.
And I have testimonials there. I have frequently asked questions, like all the stuff I try to tell people to do. I actually have it on my website. So yeah, check out assistedlivingmarketing.com. There's contact form there. We have tons of information about our websites. The pricing's very straightforward, very clear. Again, I think we have maybe 30 to 35 ongoing clients in that space right now. We've probably built 60 or 70 industry websites, almost all of those small residential assisted living. We love the work they do. We love supporting them. And that's really part of our mission, is to help those folks and help people find great care.
That's great. Thank you, Peter, so much for doing what you do. Thank you to the listeners here for caring about seniors and providing exceptional care for them. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of the Rail Room Assisted Living Podcast. Signing off. Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to the Rail Room Assisted Living Podcast. We hope you found today's episode insightful. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave us a raving 5-star review. And a quick review helps more listeners find the show and more seniors get the exceptional care they deserve.
And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And just so you know, we have prepared some free resources for you to help you succeed in residential assisted living in addition to this podcast. Head over to therailroom.com, that is TheRAL to download our free 10-step guide to launch your first or next residential assisted living home, or our 10 reasons to passively invest in residential assisted living ebooks.
And if you're ready to take the next step and make real moves in the RAL industry, join us in the Rail Room Mastermind. It is an exclusive community where we deep dive into everything you need to launch and grow your own residential assisted living business. You'll get access to recorded courses, live calls with industry experts, a RAL calculator, resources and tools, like-minded entrepreneurs, funding opportunities, and an expert networking community to help you along your journey.
Be sure to join us next time on the Rail Room Podcast as we continue to explore the world of residential assisted living with more great guests. See you then.